Hello everyone. Today we'll be discussing about empirical evaluations and how to use this particular AI effect in uncovering new opportunities for your SEO campaign. So I am going to dive in and walk you guys through a presentation wherein you can use this particular method of empirical evaluations, and by the help of this thing you can find more untapped opportunities that you can use for the greatness of your SEO campaign going forward. Come, let us dive in. Now, before understanding empirical evaluations, let us first understand what heuristics means, because heuristic is the main part of the empirical evaluation. So basically, heuristic is actually the knowledge of learning the past data to make some educated guesses into solving a problem. So basically it's more or less like understanding the pattern and then finding a conclusion from that pattern. We already have a dedicated video on heuristics in SEO. I would recommend watching that. In terms of search engine, it simply means that it enables user to discover more or learn something for themselves. So as you can see this diagram, so heuristic evaluation basically involves a multiple of things such as the visibility of the status, it match between the system and the real world, and much more. So there are two types of SEO strategies that can be used. The first one is the algorithmic SEO. So basically algorithmic SEO aims in satisfying the Google algorithm to outperform the other websites in the search engine results pages. However, in the heuristic SEO, it aims in finding the untapped opportunities by understanding and doing sheer market research, customer behavior, and also analyzing the changing trends or the emerging trends. In fact, 15% of Google searches are absolutely new to the search engine, so it can really understand and recognize the changing pattern and can derive or come to a conclusion on the user orientation. Some of the examples of the empirical evaluation in an SEO campaign. So the first is Course Schedules is a popular work management tool. Now Course Schedules headline analyzer. Now the thing is that the headline analyzer of Course Schedule is a famous and started picking up traffic since the late 2025 and went on gaining massive amount of traffic throughout the 2026 and later. Now the thing is that through the Wayback Machine, we could not find that the particular page started gathering traffic since 2014. However, at the same time, if you search the term headline analyzer, the topic started trending since November 2014. This clearly indicates that there was no one was searching for this term before 2024, yet the company went ahead and made a tool for this which started trending afterwards. This is a classic example of heuristic SEO, as it does not depend upon the keyword research or what Google Trends tells people are searching for. This says we make content on topics that we believe to be trending in the upcoming years, and this is based on pure knowledge of the niche or the customer avatar or the intuition. And the potential of the heuristical analysis forces us not to just satisfy the search engine and the users, but also a thought leader in the niche as well. Now, to deploy the heuristics for a website's usability, now the thing is that website usability for heuristics were first established by Jacob Nielsen in 1990. He laid down 10 guidelines that can make a website more suitable for human use. We will discuss 8 of those guidelines here and how to optimize for them. Guideline number 1, the user should always be aware of the changes in the system through a feedback. Now the SEO implementation is that make sure the first input delay metric has a value below 100 milliseconds for your websites. Always make sure your website is responsible by manually checking all the buttons and the moving elements. And the reason why this is important, because like this really improves the interactivity of a user if the field input delay or the first byte really lowers within the first 100 milliseconds of the time frame. The guideline number 2, the system should always speak the user's language. So for the SEO implementation, it's quite obvious that your content should be readable as per the industrial records. Do not use too much technical jargons that can be hard for users to consume. Keep it very simple. Guideline number 3, users should have the full navigational control as well as the ability to undo an action. For the SEO implementation, it's advisable to implement a breadcrumb structure in the body for the navigational ease, and also an HTML sitemap in the footer that gives a full navigational access. Now in this way, one, like a particular user can have a navigational control, and they can really undo an action if they wrongly visited a particular web page or a landing pages. Guideline number 4, consistency and standards also apply to both the languages and actions and should be predictable across the internet. Now for the SEO implementation, it's obvious for the SEO webmasters to make sure of the theme of the website, color, button dimensions, animations across all of the pages, because the thing is that a brand, like it really, like these all small elements can really affect a lot for the brands on the long run, so they all should be rightly modified and should be monitored. Guideline number 5, users are frustrated by errors, therefore the design of your site should be kept in mind that they should be error free and the errors should be prevented as far as practical. So on the SEO implementation side, one should keep a proper check on the Google search console and also should make sure that all the indexing issues are fixed, especially the 4x6 and the 5x6 errors. And also the core web vitals and the Chrome user experience report should be optimal for the search user experience guidelines as well. Guideline number 6, create your pages with clearly visible instruction, actions and objects. So as you can see from the diagram, from the SEO implementation point of view, keep the instruction for the user very clear so that they can perform an action. In other words, make sure that the online marketing funnel is properly optimized with proper call to actions to avoid any drop-offs. In other words, the proper call to actions or the lead magnets should be aligned in the right way so that the user should not find it difficulty to scan or navigate through the pages. Guideline number 7, the site should be usable for both novice and experienced user. So in terms of SEO implementation, it should be simply kept simple. Any excess amount of CSS and JavaScript element should be avoided, and also any complex functionality should be avoided, because this really keeps the user experience simple. So even if any novice visits the website, this would be quite easier for them to navigate through the campaign. Guidelines number 8, always help users recognize, diagnose and recover from the errors. So as a part of the SEO implementation, make sure to implement a custom 404 page for any unexpected errors, because like in the world of search engine, no one knows when an error can pop up. So it's always advisable to make a custom 404 landing page, so even if some uninterrupted errors pops up, then this can be easily sorted by not hampering the existing user experience. So the final difference between the algorithmic SEO and the heuristic SEO. So algorithmic SEO only focuses on satisfying the Google ranking factors and the users and is biased on the pre-existing factors. The outcome can be both short and long term. Obviously the outcomes can be predicted, and in most cases the competition is generally high, as all the websites would literally try to run behind the keywords and the competition can be quietly higher. Whereas in heuristic SEO, it depends mostly on covering untapped potential, which depends on the market research and a bit of intuition. So it is unbiased. This is definitely the long-term strategy. The actions are based on intuition and empirical evaluation, hence the outcome is less predictable. And last but not the least, heuristics is all about finding untapped opportunities, so the competition is lower. So guys, my ending conclusion is that everyone follows the same path of the SEO diagnostics, like understand, identify keyword, observe the keyword, observe the competition, and then move towards the right direction. But the thing is that you can also try the heuristic method and the empirical evaluation method, by which you can find some untapped opportunities by not focusing on the keyword or any trend line, rather focusing on any gap which you can find in the existing marketplaces. For example, before COVID, if someone would have thought that for any pandemic there would be immediate necessity of disinfectants or sanitizers or masks or even the PPE kits. Now this is where people, market leaders or business analysts can understand the marketing gaps. They can understand the gaps and they can focus in working towards the gaps. Keep in mind, this will not give you any short-term gain, but rather this is an extremely long-term opportunity, but the competition can be lower. And if you follow the 8 guidelines which I have explained, then you can really have a smooth running SEO performance for your campaign. But this is certainly a long-term strategy, in fact. Thanks for watching.